this Chinese grandpa lived to be 256 years old. Actually, that would make him more like a great-grandpa. But anyway, if all this is true, that would mean that he lived through 9 different Chinese emperors and part of the Republican period. What is the secret to his longevity? Well, to give you a clue, in the only known picture of him, he's holding a piece of ginseng. That is a Chinese root believed to increase vitality and longevity. Now, obviously, most audience members are going to have some serious reservations about this man's story. But the interesting thing is, this guy didn't live like 1,000 years ago and all we have is one line of biography in one of the Chinese classical texts. No, he died relatively recently in 1933, and when he died, both the New York Times and Time magazine did reports on his death, citing evidence from Chinese historical records that he was indeed 256 years old. In this video, I want to take you through all the evidence and arguments against the validity of his claims. This is the incredible story of Li Qingyun, China's modern immortal. Throughout Chinese history, there have been claims of Taoist immortals living in the mountains who lived unusually long lifespans. People like the legendary creator of Tai Chi, Zhang Sanfeng, who supposedly lived for over 200 years. So there is already a tradition of this in China. Then we have Li Qingyun, whose name is also sometimes incorrectly written as Li Qingyuan. He claimed that he was born in 1736. Thus, he would have been born at the beginning of the reign of the Qianlong Emperor, a high point in the Qing dynasty. However, based on historical records, there is some evidence suggesting that he was actually born in 1677. This was mentioned in the New York Times obituary for him, written in 1933. It cited a study by Professor Wu Chengqian of Minguo University, who found records of birth of someone with that name and proclamations by the Qing imperial government wishing him a happy 100th, 150th, and 200th birthday. So it's a strange discrepancy. I mean, you'd think that the guy would know his own birthday. But anyway, let's keep going. Li lived in Sichuan province, but traveled around China in his early years gathering medicinal herbs. At age 51, he served in the military as a tactical and topography advisor under a general Year Old Taoist. And yes, you heard that right. He is said to have started his military career at 51 years old. He then retired from the army at age 78 and returned to gathering and selling herbs in Sichuan province. Throughout his life, he continued to collect and use Chinese medicinal herbs and practice Taoist Qigong and meditation, living through the reigns of emperors Kangxi, Yongzheng, Qianlong, Jiaqing, Daoguang, Xianfeng, Tongzhi, Guangxu, and the last emperor Puyi. When asked, he gave 3 reasons for his longevity. First was that he had maintained a vegetarian diet for a long time. Second was keeping a calm and carefree heart. And third was that he often drank goji berry tea. Modern science has found goji berries to be very rich in many vitamins and minerals, beating blueberries, which are also considered a superfood. In the Time article about him, which is titled China, Tortoise Pigeon Dog, they have a quote from Li who says, 保持一种平静的心态，坐如龟，行如雀，睡如狗. So it's keep a calm state of mind, sit like a tortoise, walk like a sparrow, or actually the Time magazine translated it as a pigeon, so whatever. Walk like a small bird and sleep like a dog. I'm not sure totally what that means, but maybe it means sit in stillness, walk energetically, and sleep well. The Time article stated that he had 23 wives throughout his life, and he was now living with his 24th. In the New York Times, they said that according to locals, he had 180 descendants of 11 generations. The Times had originally interviewed him in 1928 and said that their correspondent talked to many of the oldest men in his village who said that their grandfathers had known Li when they were just kids and Li was already a fully grown man. But the New York Times finishes off the article stating that one thing that may make readers skeptical is that in appearance he only looks about 60 years old. So while I totally think that Chinese Qigong, meditation and medicinal herbs, ginseng, etc. can increase longevity somewhat, I can also see that this could all be a hoax to sell Li's products. I mean, the guy was a herbalist, right? That was his business. The dude was posing with a piece of ginseng in his photo. I'm surprised he didn't have a price tag on it. Making you think that he was 250 years old would totally be in his interest so that you buy his stuff thinking that you can live that long too. But actually, from the little information on this guy that we have, it is really hard to either prove or disprove the story. Even Snopes, who normally spoil most stories like this, don't prove this one false. They simply say unproven. So what do you think? Could he be 256 years old? Or was this all an elaborate hoax with even Li's friends in his village being in on it? Maybe he gave them free ginseng if they backed up his story. Leave your comments below and please subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.